Hello everyone, this is Batty of Batty Plays Games, and today we're playing Dwarf Fortress. This is one of my favorite games. I've killed countless hours on this thing, and I wanted to do a series on it. And this will be part tutorial and part just seeing how far I can get on here. I've already generated a world, and it's year 500, and you can generate worlds longer, but I went with 500 just to be kind of quick on there, and I could probably show how to generate worlds later as a tutorial, but I just wanted to get this kind of set up really good. I found a good spot here. This is the local map right here, and you can see that it's a 4x4 grid. You can resize that, and this is the region that it's in, and this is where it is in the world. And it's a swamp called the Swamp of Cobras. It's a temperate freshwater marsh. Temperature's warm. Temperature does affect certain things, like say a place that's really hot, your dwarves will drink more. It's a woodland area, so there's a bit of trees. There's a moderate amount of vegetation. The surrounding is calm. It has a little river going through there, the stream called Chop Stuttered, and this little red square right here is a volcano, and that one's called the Fires of Decline. The area has some soil and shallow metals and deep metals, and I'll get into those later. But importantly, it has fluxstone. Fluxstone is not everywhere. It is stuff like marble and calcite and a few other things. And the important thing about fluxstone is it's used for making steel, which is a very good metal in this game until you get really far in, when things will just kind of cut through that like butter. But for right now, and for the early and mid game, it would be really good. You can see that the neighbors are dwarves and humans and elves and goblins as well. So and the little red dash here that means they're at war with basically all the dwarves, or at least the dwarves all be. The civilization, let's see. We can choose between 4 different civilizations here. The Named Mine, Avalanche of Woods, and you can tell here these are their holdings, the little blue dwarf statues here. Oh yeah, a thing to note, I'm using Iron Hand tile set stuff, so it doesn't look all kinds of weird. And like the base game does, so it'll have some pretty good little tile sets. The Walled Machine and the Arch of Stirring. The Walled Machine is just this one little base there, it looks like. The Arch of Stirring has a fair bit. Named Mine looks like they have the most area. So let's go with them, actually. We're going to embark in this area, or actually in a second. We're going to show other things. Here's the relative height elevation map. It's hard to really notice much of anything on it. But here is the cliff indicator. The area we have selected, most tiles will be just 3 tiles high, except for the river, which is marked as 0. That's basically the water level. Or I guess sea level. So there's some small hills and such here and there, and then where the volcano is massive, extreme cliffs of at least 20 tiles high. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how well I can fortify this area. So let's embark, and I like to plan carefully, so let's prepare carefully for the journey. We start out with 7 dwarves. Yeah, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7 dwarves. I won't be using the mouse very much, besides to point out what's what, because this game doesn't use the mouse all that much. Okay, let's see. I have a certain setup I like to do. I like to go with 2 miners and 2 growers, as well as people that are kind of mixed on skills. So let's give him mining, and let's let's give him mining, but also masonry. Now you can only put 5 points in, which makes them proficient on start, but they can go up to, you know, like grandmasters, and it takes a while. But I give one masonry so we can start getting stuff like doors and chairs and such made a lot quicker and a little bit easier. Okay, and let's make this person a grower. Growers are your farmers. They grow things. And let's do a second grower, but let's also make this person a brewer. Brewing will be needed because you only start with so much supplies, and eventually that's going to run out, and you need to have, well, somebody that can brew up more booze, because a dwarf without booze is not really a dwarf, and they get really mad and they can actually die from dehydration. Let's give the fifth person I like to set up is a woodcutter and a carpenter. This way they can chop down the wood and actually use it to make beds and, you know, bins and anything else made of wood that we need. Let's make this person a mechanic. I like to rely more on traps and walls in the early on until military can be set up. So they're pretty good mechanic. And the last person I set up as a doctor. Now, as you can see, there's a ton and ton and ton of skills that dwarves can learn and use. But the doctor stuff is right here. We're going to put 3 points in diagnostician because that is the harder thing to raise, so they're adequate at diagnosing illnesses and such. Put 1 in wound dresser, 1 in surgeon, 1 in bone doctor. Surgery is, well, you know, surgery, you know, taking something out, I guess, and fixing anything inside that is messed up. Bone doctor sets bones. Wound dresser applies bandages, and a suture sutures up wounds. But let's do adequate on all this. So they're adequate on all that, but let's actually take out suture and bump up diagnostician a little bit more. The person that we had as a mechanic, let's give them 2 points in record keeping, because that will help out in setting up all the records. That help. It helps to have a manager that sets up records, so you can get a full breakdown of what your fortress is currently at, and you know how well it's doing, as well as what's the word? So basically, you can have like work orders. So let's also give them some social skills: so comedian, flatterer, pacifier to help pacify angry dwarfs, because they can and will get angry a lot. We don't want a wordsmith at the moment. Observer, concentration, or student. No, actually, that's all the skills we can give them at the moment. But that should be good. That the person with the most social skills usually is the leader of a expedition. Let's go to items now. We'll need 2 picks. We'll only need 1 battle axe to mainly work as the lumber axe to cut down trees. An anvil is always good to start with, because otherwise you won't be able to get your metal industry up all that quick, because anvils can only be made out of iron or steel, and if you don't start with one, you have to wait till a caravan comes and hope that the caravan brings one. 40 wine's good, 20 ale's good. Let's start with more plump helmet spawn. Plump helmet spawn is, well, like the seeds for plump helmets, and plump helmets are the basic food of a fortress. Pigtail seeds are fiber seeds. So let's start with just 5 of those for the moment. And cave wheat is, or wheat, which can be ground into flour or brewed by itself as a booze, and it's useful in the more medium terms, I guess. Sweet pods, we don't really need to start with these at the moment. Same with rock nuts. Dimple cups, they are a dye, a mushroom that grows and lets you dye things blue. Let's see, orangutan intestines. Well, that's, I guess, good, I guess. Lungfish. Let's start with more plump helmets. Let's start with 40, just to be safe. Well, what's we? 30. Because, as you can see down here, we have a certain amount of points to use to buy skills as well as things we'll be bringing with us. Pigtail thread is good on start just in case somebody needs to get stitched up. Cloth, same with that for bandages. Pigtail bags are good to, because certain things can be stored in bags. Ropes are also useful for, well, lots of things later on. We don't need any quivers because we don't have any archers with us. Buckets are good to keep. Splints are, well, they're used for setting bones. Crutches, let's take 2 because in case if somebody breaks their leg, they have to, or loses the leg, they have to walk around on crutches. And it's always good to be safe, or bring it just to be safe. Over here are animals that we can bring, and there are a lot of animals. Let's start with a male cat and a female cat, a male dog, and a female dog. That leaves us with 2 points left. Dogs are useful because they can fight, but and they can also trigger ambushes, which I'll get into that later. But they're pretty good. Dwarves like them because they take them on as pets a lot of times. Cats are pretty good at keeping vermin away from your food, which vermin can get into your food and spoil it or eat it. And all of these are also good in case, well, if we run out of food and have no options, well, they can be backup meals. But right now, let's add in 2 more plump pellet spawns so we can start with 12 seeds. Let's name the fort now. Now the fort's names, you can have a front compound, a rear compound, first adjective, second adjective, hyphen compound, the blank or of blank. But let's do and you can clear stuff with the C button, or R to randomize, or E to select. So let's see, hammer hold. Let's do there's no enduring. The mountain of ages. So that'd be the name of our forge. Hammerhold, the Mountain of Ages. Or in Dwarf it would be, and I'm probably gonna say this extremely wrong right here, Nikageth Onul Anam. Okay, that sounds good. And we can name our group. And naming groups is just like the same with the naming of fortress. Let's do. No, so let's check. No, I didn't want to. Let's call the group Thunderhammer. So that should be good right there. So we have Hammerhold, the Mountain of Ages, and the group called Thunderhammer. So let's push E and embark.
This will be our new home.
You have arrived after a journey from the mountains in mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Kabavus. I guess that's the name of mountain homes we're from. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the dingoes get hungry. I gotta watch some of those dingoes, I guess. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place, Nikageth Onul Anam, Hammerhold, the Mountain of Ages. Strike the earth. Okay, let's pause and let's get our bearings. This is the river here we have, which there seems to be a good bit of water. Down here is the volcano. And let's look up towards the top of all this. So down here is the mountains that go way up to, it looks like 37 tiles above water level. So let's find a good place to start our fortress. I want something defensible, as well as something that just is nice. Let's also take a look at what trees we have around. We have oak and alder. We have apple trees, which are good because they'll give apples, which can help with food. Ginkgo trees, apricots, which are also good. Birch. So it looks like we have a good mix of different tree types. Now we got hazel, so hazelnuts, which will be useful. So, where to set us up at? I'll probably want something kind of nice that's good, or that's close to the river, so we can have fresh water and maybe even turn it into a moat, although I prefer using magma as a moat. Good luck getting through that. Let's try to shape out this land here, which might be a little rough, but I figure a little, just a good solid block in. So just go in there and just kind of square that out, which means we'll have to tunnel, or we'll have to channel down stuff around this area to make it all nice and flush. And this will be the grand entranceway. So let's chop down some trees. And we've got a lot of trees to cut down, and we will need a lot of wood to get us started. Because as undwarfy as it is, we have to make our first fortifications out of trees. Shameful, I know. But you have to do what you have to do. So let's get our lumberjack cutting all this down. And while he's doing that, let's set up stockpiles. Animal stockpiles for like cages. We didn't bring any, but we'll eventually need to have those. Furniture stockpile is for stuff that would be furniture, like beds and dressers, doors, and all that. So let's put that there. Let's put a corpse stockpile over here. We don't need a stone one yet. We don't need a gem one yet. Cloth, let's set a cloth one here, just so we have the thread and cloth and other stuff set out. Finished goods are things like our anvil and bins and such, as plus like craft works, goblets, and so on. Okay, let's put our weapon stockpile here. Food, let's put that over here so it's easy to reach for the moment. Wood, let's just leave the wood where it lays at the moment. And that should be good for right there. Let's bring up areas. This will be for like zones, which can be for like, say here is going to be a pen or a pasture, because we started with a water buffalo, cow, female water buffalo, and a male donkey. And let's put them there. These won't be where the stockpiles will be permanently. This is just so we can get it all out of the wagon, so it's easier to work with, and so we know what all we have at the moment. Now, in a little bit, I'll probably set up names for the dwarves, just so we know who's who, which will help in the long run, because when you get up to, say, like 200 dwarves in your fortress, you kind of want to know who's who and what's what. So while the lumberjack is working, let's channel out. Let's channel out here, and let's drag that all the way out to here. That's going to be the outermost edge there. And let's also get that up here channeled down, so we'll have a bit of a space there, because we're going to put walls around, because you need to also think defensively of how you're going to defend your hold against all the greedy goblins and elves that will try to take things from you. And for the bottom part, it'll be there. So let's also clear that spot just to get it going there. So now we know the basic form of where this is all going to look like. So we can start planning our entranceway. And there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 spots there. And actually it looks like we missed a little row here. So let's clear that out. So let's see. A good little spot to be just kind of centered is, let's see. Let's go here and just start a little entranceway. And just to make this all even, because why not? Well, I guess even in a way of looks. Let's get another channeled spot there. And let's clear that up there. So let's also now clear out some trees. So we can get an even better look at how everything will look. So far, I think it's going to be pretty good. We'll have a nice looking, what was an inappropriate dig spread? Spot. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got that right there. Let's see, how far back can we go? Because this is going to be the grand entranceway. Now, I do things, for here 3x3 because it gives a lot of space, and dwarves can, and usually do, bump into each other if things are too narrow. It builds up a lot of traffic, and, well, not a lot gets done. Okay, and a 3x3 also is as little as it can be for a cart to pass through. So, if say we're under siege and I have found a underground cave, which there are underground caves, if I find an underground cave and we're under siege and traders are here, if they can't leave, they start getting really upset and can actually attack people from, I think. But, well, even if not, then it's just good to have different exit points. So if I have an underground cave with a spot connecting to the map edge, they can just cut through my fortress and go right out under the underground cave. Although, how they'll get out from that's their problem. Okay, let's see. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I went 10 down, so that means, well, this will be the central staircase. This will be the heart, basically, of the entire fortress. So, that is good right there. And let's start looking for farmland. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Farmland's the biggest farm plot you can actually make is a 10 by 10. And it's good to start with a pretty hefty sized farm plot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's see if that would be a good farm plot right there. Once the dwarves start to clear it out. And let's get this tree chopped down. Same with this one over here. So far everything's looking pretty good. Oh, what was that? Said we struck hematite? Yes, it looks like we did hematite. We now have iron. We'll actually be able to get iron and steel production up pretty quickly. That's actually kind of rare. Most of the time I run into stuff that's like nothing but copper or galena, which is a mix of lead and silver, which is nice, but not very useful for military. So that's good at least. But for right now, I'm gonna pause just so just so it's not very long on the first one. I'll try to make more and get everything started. So thank you for joining me for this first one. If I missed or messed anything up, please leave a comment and please join me for the rest of the playthrough / tutorial. Thank you very much.